Welcome to Philemathics series. Today we are going to be solving the theory question of WAEC 2023 mathematics. The first question says, a car travels a distance of 112 kilometers at an average speed of 70 kilometers per hour. It then travels further for 60 kilometers at an average speed of 50 kilometers per hour. Calculate the entire journey, the total time taken. So what we need to do here is to calculate the time for the first joining and the time for the second joining and sum it up. The first thing we would like to recall is the formula for speed. Speed, we know, is given as distance over time. And so for the first joining, let's call x1 the first speed, which is 70 kilometers per hour, and the distance, which is 112 kilometers. And to find the time from here, it will be distance over speed, which will be 112 over 70. And if we divide this, we'll have 1.6 hours. For the second joining, S2, the speed is 50 kilometers per hour, and the distance is 60 kilometers, and the time, as usual, will be the speed, the distance over time, which is 60 over 50. And if we divide this, we'll have 1.2 hours. Therefore, total time will be T1 plus T2, which is 1.6 plus 1.2, which is 2.8 hours, or 2 hours 48 minutes. Question 1b says, if x over y is 2 and y over z is 3, find the value of x plus y over y plus z. What we'll do here is to find x in terms of y and find y in terms of z, and also put x in terms of z and then sum this up. So if x over y is 2, it implies that x is 2y. Likewise, if y over z is 3, it implies that y is 3z. Let's call this equation 1 and call this equation 2. So from equation 1, x will be, since y is 3z, we substitute 3z for y in equation 1, we'll have 2 bracket 3z, which is 6z. Now, to find the value of x plus y over y plus z, it will be, in place of x, we'll put 6z. In place of y, we'll put 3z. In place of y, 3z plus z. And when we sum this up, 6z plus 3z is 9z. And 3z plus z is 4z. Z can cancel z because it's not 0. And so we're left with 9 over 4. If you are yet to like this video, please kindly do so that others can see it. Kindly share it, comment, and subscribe. Question 2 says, in a football match, the tickets for children and adults were sold at $3 and $5. respectively. If 400 people attended the football match and $1,700 were collected in ticket sales, how many tickets were sold to adults? So 400 people attended the meeting. So the number of children plus the number of adults must equal the number of tickets sold, which is 400. Let's start by saying, let C and A represent the number of tickets sold to children and adults respectively. So it means since 400 people attended the football match, the number of tickets sold to children plus the number of tickets sold to adults must equal 400. And also, if $3 is the price for a child and $5 is the price for an adult, it means $3 times the number of tickets sold to children plus $5 times the number of tickets sold to adults must equal the total sales for the day, $1,700. So we're going to solve this simultaneous equation. Let's call this equation 1, equation 2. From equation 1, I can make C the solid formula, which is 400 minus A. I will call this equation 3. Put equation 3 into 2. So in place of C, I will have 400 minus A plus 5A equals $1,700. When I open the bracket, I'll have 1,200 minus 3A plus 5A equals $1,700. Subtract 1,200 from both sides, and minus 3A plus 5A is 2A equals 1,700 minus 1,200 is $500. Divide both sides by 2. A is 250. Therefore, 250 tickets were sold to adults. B said Mr. Sonko sold 250 tickets. If 175 of the tickets were for adults, how much sales did he make altogether? So since he sold 250 tickets and 175 of the tickets were for adults, it means the number of tickets he sold to adults plus the number of tickets he sold to children must equal 250. Since the one for adult is 175, the number of tickets he sold to children will be 250 minus 175. And 250 minus 175 is 75 tickets. So 75 tickets were sold to children. Now, to find the amount he made altogether, remember $3 is the ticket per child and $5 is the ticket per adult. So the total sales of Mr. Sonko will be total sales will be 75 times 3 for each child plus 175 times 5 for each adult. 75 times 3 is 225 and 175 times 5 is 875. And if we add this up, we'll have $1,100. This is the total sale Mr. Sonko made. For question 3, meanwhile, if you are yet to subscribe, please kindly hit the subscription button. Let's go. Question 3 says, in this diagram, PQRO is an equilateral triangle of side 18 cm. Equilateral triangle is a triangle whose sides are equal. All sides are equal. So all sides are 18 cm. M is the midpoint of QR. An arc of a circle with center P touches QR at M and meets PQ at A and PR at B. Calculate to correct two decimal places the area of the shaded region. To calculate the area of this shaded region, it's simply the area of the equilateral triangle minus the area of the sector. Now, for us to find the area of the equilateral triangle, what is area of a triangle? It is simply half base times height. We know the base. The base is 18 cm. And the height, we don't know. We need to find it. So we use Pythagoras theorem. So if we construct this, so we can use Pythagoras theorem to get this height. Know that here is 18, here will be 9. Here is 18. So by Pythagoras theorem, h square plus 9 square equals 18 square. H square equals 18 square is 324 minus 9 square is 81. H square 324 minus 81 is 243 and h is square root of 243, which is the same as square root of 81 times 3, which is square root of 18 is 9 root 3. So I've gotten the height as 9 root 3. Now, what is the area of the equilateral triangle? Area of triangle is half base times height, which is half, the base is 18 and the height is 9 root 3. 2 here is 9. 9 times 9 is 81 root 3 centimeter square. This is the area of the triangle. What about the area of the sector? Area of sector is theta over 360 times pi r square. Theta. In an equilateral triangle, just the way all the sides are equal, it implies all the angles are equal. And if all the angles are equal, you know that the sum of angles in a triangle is 180. And for the three angles to be equal, it means each of the angle have to be 60 degrees. So theta is 60 over 360 times 22 over 7 times radius. Now, what is the radius? The radius is the same as the height because this midpoint, when it moves to the left or to the right, that will be the radius of the sector because it touches Q arrow at M. So the radius is same as the height, which is 9 root 3 all square. 60 can go here 6 times, 2 can go here 3, 2 can go here 11, and so the product will be 127.285 centimeter square. Therefore, area of shaded region will be area of triangle minus area of sector. which is 81 root 3 minus 127.285, which is 13.011, and to two decimal places is 13 after 0.12.01 centimeter square. For question 4, we are told that in this diagram, PQRX are points on the circle of center K, and KR is a bisector of angle SRQ. Angle KSP is 41 degrees and angle SKR is 80 degrees. Find angle RQP. So KR bisects this angle. Very important. So the first thing we like to do is we start from the angles we know and we move to the unknown angles. Since these are radii, it means these two angles are equal. Angle KRS is equal to angle KSR. Let's call it S. The reason is isosceles triangle. So if here is X, here is S, sum of angle in the triangle must give 180. So X plus 80 degrees must equals 180. Sum of angles in a triangle. So 2x, subtract 80 from both sides, will be 180 minus 80, and 2x equals 100. Divide both sides by 2, x will be 50 degrees. Now, the angle we are looking for is angle RQP. RQP. If we know this whole angle, we can get this by supplementary angle, because from circle theorem, we know that opposite angles of a cyclic chord is supplementary. I have done a series on circle theorem, on all the theorems. Check on my playlist and you will see a complete series on it. So we know that angle RXP is 50 degrees plus 41 degrees, which is 91 degrees. And so angle RSP plus angle RQP equals 180. Opposite angles of a cyclic chord. And so angle RQP we are looking for will be 180 minus 91, which is angle RSP. 180 minus 91 is 89 degrees. B says angle SPQ. Angle SPQ. Likewise, if we know what this angle is, we can get this by supplementary angle. We know that angle SRK is 50 degrees. From the fact that line KR is a bisector of angle SRQ, it means angle KRQ is also 50 degrees, because a bisector divides an angle into two equal parts. So if here is 50 degrees, here is also 50 degrees. So angle KRQ equals angle KRX equals 50 degrees. Reason is KR is a bisector of angle SRQ, XRQ. So since here is 50 degrees, here is also 50 degrees. So it means that angle SRQ, this angle, is 50 degrees plus 50 degrees, which is 100 degrees. Now, from supplementary angles, these two angles are supplementary. angle SROQ plus angle SPQ we are looking for equals 180. The reason is supplementary angles. And so we have gotten SROQ as 100 plus angle SPQ. And so angle SPQ will be 180 minus 100. Angle SPQ is 80 degrees. Question 5 says, a boy stands at a point M on the same horizontal level as the foot T of a vertical building. He observes an object on the top P of the building at an angle of elevation of 60 degrees. He moves directly backwards to a new point C and observes the same object at an angle of elevation of 53 degrees. If line MT is 50 meters, illustrate the information in a diagram. One thing you should know how to do as a mathematics student is to be able to illustrate a word problem like this of angle of elevation and depression in a diagram, because if you find it difficult to illustrate things like this in a diagram, you hardly can solve it. So let's go. How do we illustrate this in a diagram? So let's draw the vertical building this way, and what he observed is P at the top and T at the foot. The boy stands in the same horizontal level. So if we call this boy's position M, so he observes at an angle of elevation of 60 degrees. He then moves backward and observes the same object, but now at a different angle of elevation, 53 degrees. This is C, and we are told that line MT is 50 meters. This is the diagram that illustrates this. Second question says, find the height of a building. Let's call here the height H. How do we calculate the height? We can use trig ratios, opposite over adjacent. So to find the height, we can use tan. We know tan theta is equal to opposite over adjacent. And so tan 66 degree, our opposite is H, our adjacent is 50. So that H will be 50 tan 66 degrees. 50 tan 66 degrees is 112.301, approximately 112.3 to one decimal place. And so we have to look for the length MC. MC. We also use the same trig ratio tan, opposite over adjacent. So tan, now in this case, 53 degrees will be opposite over adjacent. Tan 53 degrees. Opposite is H, which we have gotten as 112.3. But our adjacent is 50 plus MC. 50 plus MC, line MC. We'll multiply and divide. We'll have 50 plus MC will be 112.3 over tan 53. And when we divide this, we'll have 50 plus MC equals 84.624. So that MC will be 84.624 minus 50, which is 34.624, approximately 34.6 meters to one decimal place. If you're here to subscribe, please kindly subscribe, like this video, share it to your friends. Question 6a says M is the set of n such that 2n minus 3 is less than or equal to 37, where n is a counting number. By counting number, we mean natural numbers starting from 1. Write down all the elements in M. So they define M in set builder notation. We can use various ways. We can use interval form when we use the brackets, the square bracket, and the parentheses. But in this case, they use set builder notation. We must know how to read this. M is the set of n such that 2n minus 3 is less than or equal to 37. So we have to solve this inequality to find what n is, the range of n. So 2n minus 3 less than or equal to 37. Add 3 to both sides, you have 2n less than or equal to 37 plus 3. So I'll have 2n less than or equal to 40. And if we divide both sides by 2, we'll have that n is less than or equal to 20. Now, m will be the set of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, inclusive. If a number is selected at random from M, what is the probability that it is a multiple of 3? First of all, what is the formula for probability? Formula for probability is number of required outcome over number of possible outcome. Now, what are the multiples of 3 in this set M? Multiples of 3 are those set of numbers 3 can divide. So in this set, there are 3, 6, 9. So multiples of 3 in M are 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. That's all. So probability of multiple of 3 will be number of required outcome is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And number of possible outcome are 20. And when we divide, this is 3 over 10, which is 0.3. The second one says factors of 10. Factors of 10 are numbers that can divide 10 without remainder. Why multiples of 3 are numbers 3 can divide? Factors of 10 are number that divides 10 without remainder in this set, and they are 1, 2, 5, and 10. So factors of 10 in M are 1, 2, 5, 10. And probability of factors of 10 will be, how many numbers do we have here? The required outcome 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. and the possible outcome is 20. This is 1 over 5, and this is 0.2. Question B says, a shop owner gave an end of year bonus to two of his attendants, Cantor and Gabson, in the ratio of their ages. Gabson's age is 1.5 times that of Cantor, who is 20 years old. If Cantor received 200,000 Egyptian pounds, find the total amount shared. So we'd like to start by saying, let the total amount shared be X. The next thing we'd like to do is to find Gabson's age, who is 1.5 times that of Cantor's age, who is 20 years. So Gabson's age is 1.5 times 20, which is 3 over 2 times 20. This is 10, and 3 times 10 is 30 years old. Gabson is 30 years old. So the ratio in which the shop owner gave this bonus is 20:30, as to Cantor is to Gabson. Now, let's find Cantor's share. Cantor's share is, his age is 20 over the sum of their age, which is 20 plus 30 times the amount shared, which is S. That is Cantor's share. And we are told that Cantor's share is 200 Egyptian pounds. This is 20 over 50 times X. 0 can cancel 0. 5 times this will have 1 million European pounds equals to 2x. So that when we divide by 2, we'll have that x is 500 Egyptian pounds. Gabson's share is straightforward. Since Cantor received 200 Egyptian pounds, since Cantor received 200 Egyptian pounds, Gabson's share will be 500 minus 200 Egyptian pounds, which is 300 Egyptian pounds. Question 7a says, the sum of three numbers is 81. The second number is twice the first. Given the third is 6 more than the second, find the numbers. I mean, mathematics is that interesting. Okay. So we'll start by saying, let the three numbers be x, y, z respectively. So the second, which is twice the first, implies second number twice the first implies y is 2x, and the third 6 more than the second. Third number 6 more than the second implies z is y plus 6. 6 more than the second. If I say I'm 6 years more than you, it means my age is your age plus 6. So since y is 2s, I can replace y as 2s so that z will be 2x plus 6. And we are now told that the sum of the three numbers is 81. Sum of the three numbers equals 81 implies the first is x, the second is 2x, and the third is 2x plus 6 equals 81. X plus 2x is 3x plus 2x is 5x plus 6 equals 81. Subtract 6 from both sides, we have 5x equals 81 minus 6. 5x will be 75. Divide both sides by 5, we have x to be 15. Since x is 15, therefore, the three numbers are 15. The second number is 2s, which is 2 times 15 is 30, and third number is 6 more than the second, 36. These are the three numbers. B says, given the points 3, 5 as P, the coordinate for P, and Q as minus 3, 7 on the Cartesian plane, such that arrow x, y is the midpoint of PQ. Find the equation of the line that passes through R and perpendicular to PQ. Let's sketch. So if this is the line and this is P, which is 3, 5, this is Q, which is minus 5, 7, and this is R, which is S, y. We will use midpoint formula to find the coordinate S, y. So from midpoint formula, we know that arrow S, y will be half x1 plus x2, half y1 plus y2. So half, let's call this x1, let's call this x2. So 3 plus minus 5, which is 3 minus 5, half 5 plus 7, which is half 3 minus 5 is minus 2, and 5 plus 7 is 12. This will be half this is minus 1, and half 12 is 6. This is what arrow, the coordinate of arrow is. We are looking for the equation of the line that passes through R and that is perpendicular to PQ. Since the line passes through R and perpendicular to PQ, it means the gradient of this line that passes through R will be negative inverse of the gradient of the line PQ. So we need to get the gradient of the line PQ. Let's call the gradient. Let M1 be the gradient of the line PQ. So M1 we know is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, which will be our y2 is 7 minus 5, our x2 is minus 5 minus 3. 7 minus 5 is 2, minus 5 minus 3 is minus 8. We have minus 1 over 4. And so our M2, like I said, will be negative inverse of M1, which is negative 1 over 4, which is 4. So our M2 is 4. Now, recall our formula for finding equation of a line that passes through a point. Equation of a line that passes through a point. Through a point, arrow, will be y minus y1 m x minus x1, where this m is m2. So this will be y minus our y1 and x1 will be the coordinate of arrow, which are our y1 is 6, our m is 4, x1 is minus 1, which is plus 1. And when we open the bracket, we'll have y minus 6 equals 4x plus 4. So that y, add 6 to both sides, will be 4x plus 10. This is the equation of the line that passes through the points R and perpendicular to PQ. If the line that passes through R is parallel to PQ, it means their gradient have to be equal. Question 8 says, copy and complete the table of values for y equals 2x squared minus x minus 4 for the range of x starting from minus 3 to 3 inclusive. What we have to do to complete this table is to substitute the values of x into this equation and find what y is. Let's do that right away. If we substitute minus 2 squared is 4, 4 times 2 is 8, 8 minus 2 is 10, and 10 minus 4 is 6. Minus 1 squared is 1, times 2 is 2, plus 1 is 3, 3 minus 4 is minus 1. 1 squared is 1, times 2 is 2, 2 minus 1 is 1, 1 minus 4 is minus 3. 2 squared is 4, 4 times 2 is 8, 8 minus 2 is 6, 6 minus 4 is 2, and 3 squared is 9, 9 times 2 is 18, 18 minus 3 is 15, 15 minus 4 is 11. That is all for this. Then the second question says, using a scale of 2 cm to 1 unit on the x-axis and 2 cm to 2 units on the y-axis, draw the graph of y equals 2x squared minus x minus 4 for the range of values of x from minus 3 to 3. When we say a scale of 2 cm to 1 unit, what do we mean? So in your graph, when you count 5 little boxes, that is what we call 1 cm. 10 little boxes is 2 cm. So for every 10 boxes is 1. That is for the x-axis. For the next 10 boxes is 2. For the next 10 boxes is 3. Whereas for the y-axis, for every 10 boxes you count is 2. The next boxes, 10 boxes you count is 4. The next boxes you count is 6, and so on. So let's do that. If this is 1 cm, so this is 2 cm. So for the y-axis, every 10 boxes, 2. Every 10 boxes, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. Yes, minus 2, minus 4. Now, you may wonder, why is this graph like this? Why is this x-axis not at the center? It's very good that you know that before you sketch your graph, you need to check the values of y. The highest values of y is 17 and the least values of y is minus 3. So we have lex values at the negative part of y, than at the positive part. That is why the x-axis is stated below. For the x-axis, the negative and the positive part are even. So it's just symmetry. That's why it's at the center. So we need this to be able to put this thing in the right perspective. So for the right x-axis, 2 cm to 1 unit. 1 cm, 2 cm. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, minus 5. So this is our y-axis. This is our x-axis. And this is our origin, 0. Now, from the graph, when x is minus 3, y is 17. So if we trace it, so this will be here. We'll trace it. X minus 2, y 6. X minus 2, y 6. Y 6. So this is here. X minus 1, y minus 1. X minus 1, y minus 1. So this is here. X0, y minus 4. So this is here. At the intercept, x1, y minus 3. X1, y minus 3. So this is here. X2, y2. S2, y2. This is here. And x3, y11. X3, y11. This is here. So the next thing we'll do is to join them together. So when joining them, for you to get a straight line, like my teacher taught me, do not breathe. You must make sure that at this point, you don't have a V, but you have a curve. You have a curve. You have a curve. And so you label the graph you drew 2x squared minus x minus 4. Now this is the graph. I tried. This is the graph. The question we want to answer is the root of the equation 2x squared minus x minus 4 equals 0. So we are looking for the root of this equation. The root of the equation is the point where this graph cut across the x-axis. The point where this graph cut across the x-axis. So if we look at this, if you are with your graph, you should be able to read what each box stands for. For instance, in our x-axis where we have 2 cm to 1 unit, it means each box is 0.1. For our y-axis where we have 2 cm to 2 units, it means each box is 0.2. This is about minus 1.2 and this is about 1.6. So the roots of the equation are minus 1.2 and 1.6. The next question is the values of x for which y increases as x increases. This is the point where y is decreasing. But this is the point where y is increasing and x is also increasing. So it is at the turning point, at the critical point here. That is this point. We can use the line of symmetry to get it. That is adding the two roots and dividing by 2, or easily, just the way you find critical points, you can differentiate this to get 4x minus 1 and equate it to 0. Add 1 to both sides, 4x equals 1. Divide both sides by 4. X is 0.25. This is the point where x start to increase. This is the point where the graph start to increase. That means it is about 0.25. That is the point where x start to increase and y increases. Another way you can do it is to add the two roots of the equation. So if we go by line of symmetry, it will be minus 1.2 plus 1.6 over 2. To add this is 0.4 over 2, and this is 0.2. Almost the same thing we got. So the values of s for which y increases as s increases will be 0.2 to 3, which is the highest value in the boundary, or 0.2 less than or equal to x less than or equal to 3. These are the values of s in which y increases as s increases. The minimum point of y. The minimum point of y is the value of y at this point. Another way you can get it is to substitute 0.25 into this equation to get it. And when you substitute it, y will be 2 bracket 0.25 all square minus 0.25 minus 4. When you do that, you have minus 4.125. And of course, when you see it, it's about minus 4.1. So the minimum point of y is minus 4.1. Question 9 says the table shows the height of thick trees harvested by farmer. Find the median height. For us to find the median height, we need to know the number of trees that the farmer harvested. So total frequency, which the total number of trees harvested, is 4 plus 6 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus 2. If we sum this up, this will give 27. Since it is odd, the median position is n plus 1 over 2 position. And n is this total frequency, which is 27 plus 1 over 2, which is 28 over 2, and which is 14th position. So how do we get the 14th position? We'll go to the number of trees and start looking for the cumulative frequency. 4 plus 6 is 10. 10 plus 4 is 14th. So the tree at the 14th position is 5. Is the tree with height 5. So the tree at the 14th position is with height 5 meters. So 5 is the median. The second thing we're asked to look for is to calculate the mean and the standard deviation. So let's draw the frequency table. This is x, this is f. You need fx to get the mean. You need x minus x bar to get the deviation. You need x minus x bar all square, and we need fx minus x bar all square to get the standard deviation. So our x are 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And the frequencies are 4, 6, 4, 5, 6, 2. And when we times this, we have 12, 24, 20, 30, 42, 16. So we need the mean in order to proceed. Summation of fx. If we sum this, we'll get 144. And so the mean, that is b I, the mean, as we all know, is given as summation of fx over summation of f, which is n. Summation of f we have gotten as 27. And so this is 144 over 27. And when we divide this, we'll have 5.333, which is approximately 5.3. So when we subtract the mean from each of the variable x, 3 minus 5.3 is minus 2.3. And if we square it, we have 5.29. And if we times it by the frequency 4, we have 21.16. 4 minus 5.3 is minus 1.3. And if we square it, we have 1.69. And if we times it by the frequency, which is 6, we have 10.14. 5 minus 5.3, we have 0.3. And if we square it, we have 0.09. We'll times it by the frequency, which is 4. We have 0.36. 6 minus 5.3 is 0.7. If we square it, we have 0.49. If we times it by the frequency, we have 2.45. 7 minus 5.3 is 1.7. We square it, we have 2.89. We times it by the frequency, which is 6, we have 17.34. 8 minus 5.3 is 2.7. If we square it, we have 7.29. We times it by the frequency, which is 2, we have 14.58. If we sum this all together, we have 66.03. And so our standard deviation is given by the formula square root of summation of f x minus x bar all square over summation of f, which is square root of 66.03 over 27. And this is square root of, if we divide 2.445, if we take the square root of this, we'll have 1.563, approximately 1.6. Okay, if you're here to subscribe, kindly hit the subscription button. No one will see you. Like and share to your friends. Question 10 says, in a town, Chief X resides 60 meters away on a bearing of 57 degrees from the palace, while Chief Y resides on a bearing of 150 degrees from the same palace. The residents of X and Y are 180 meters apart. Illustrate the information in a diagram. Bearing is one of the topics I loved so much back then in secondary school. And one of the funny thing about this is, if you are unable to represent this information in a diagram, it will be difficult for you to get it. So, how do we do this? Take note that first, we measure bearing from the North Pole. And second thing I want you to note is, anytime you see the word from, that is where you are taking the measurement. So, for instance, Chief X is 60 meters away on a bearing of 57 degrees from the palace. So we are going to start with the palace P and draw 57 degrees from the North Pole. So if this is the palace, north, south, east, and west. This is the palace P. X is 57. So this is 57 degrees. This is 57 degrees. And this is where X is located. North, south, east, west. And it is 60 meters away from it. This is our X. And also, Y resides on a bearing of 150 degrees from the same palace. 150 degrees will be below here because this is 90, so 150 will be here. So 150 degrees. So the whole of here is 150. So if here is 57, 150 minus 57, here is 93 degrees. And this is our Y, north, south, east, west. We are asked to find, let's finish it. We are told that X and Y are 180 meters apart. So this is 180 meters apart. This is Y. So if here is 150 degrees, we already know that by alternate angles, here is 150 degrees too. The first question we are asked to find is the bearing of X from Y. So we are looking for the bearing of X from Y. So we are going to measure the angle from the north pole of Y to this point. So look at what we are looking for. We know this is angle on a straight line. This is 180. We know this is 150. So we need this angle. Let's call it alpha. We need this angle. How do we get this angle? We can use sine rule. So using sine rule, sine alpha over the distance opposite it is 60. 60 meter equals, we know this, sine 93 over the distance opposite it is 180. So sine alpha will be 60 sine 93 over 180. This can go 3. And when we do that, we'll have sine 93 divided by 3. This is 0.3328. So that alpha will be sine inverse of 0.3328, which will be 19.43. So 3 significant figure is 19.4. So since here is 19.4, the bearing of X from Y is the sum. Therefore, the bearing of X from Y is 180, which is this, plus 150 plus 19, plus 150 plus 19.4. If we sum this, we'll have 349.4 degrees. So 3 significant figure will be approximately 349 degrees to 3 SF. The next, we're asked to look for the distance between P and Y. This distance, let's call it D. We also use sine rule again. and we'll use the flip side of sine rule. You know, in sine rule, we can use sine A over A equals sine B over B, or A over sine A equals B over sine B. They are the same. We'll get the same answer. So to get this, we'll look for what this angle is. We know this angle, we know this angle. We can find this angle by sum of angle in the triangle. So let's call here theta. Theta plus 93 plus 19.4 equals 180. So theta equals 180. If we sum this, we'll have minus 1112.4. And if we subtract, we'll have 67.6. And so the distance we can get using sine rule as it will be d over sine 67.6. Can use the one we know, 180 over sine 93. So that d will be 180 sine 67.6 over sine 93. This will give us meters to 3 SF. Question 11 says, two regular polygons P and Q are such that the number of sides of P is twice the number of sides of Q. So we need to know what the number of sides of Q is to find the number of sides of P. The difference between the exterior angle of Q and P is 45 degrees. Find the number of sides of P. Let's start by saying, let n be the number of sides of Q. So P is twice the number of sides of Q. It means 2n equals number of sides of P. Remember, one exterior angle of Q, each exterior angle of Q, because it's a regular polygon, is given by the formula 360 over the number of sides, which is n, and each exterior angle of P is given by 360 over the number of sides, which is 2n. Now, we are told that the difference between the exterior angle of Q and P is 45 degrees. Find the number of sides. The difference between this and this. So 360 over n minus 360 over 2n is 45 degrees. I can multiply through by the LCM, which is 2n. If I do that, 2n multiply 360 over n minus 2n multiply 360 over 2n equals to 2n multiply 45. N cancel n. 2 times 360 is 720 degrees minus 2n cancel 2n. 360 equals 90n. 720 minus 360 is 360 equals 90n. So I can divide both sides by 90 so that n will be 4. But to find the number of sides of P, which is 2n, so therefore, number of sides of P is equal to 2 times 4, which is 8 sides. B says the area of a semicircle is 32 pi centimeters square. Find in terms of pi the circumference of the semicircle, that is, the distance around the semicircle. So if this is the semicircle, we are told that the area is 32 pi centimeter square. So with this area we are given, we can find what arrow is. We know that area of a semicircle is pi arrow square over 2. And we are given that it is equal to 32 pi. Pi can cancel pi, and 2 times 32, arrow square is 64. So that arrow is square root of 64, which is 8 cm. We have gotten arrow as 8 cm. Now find in terms of pi the circumference. The circumference of a semicircle is this arc plus the diameter. So circumference equals to pi arrow, which is the perimeter, plus 2 arrow, which is the diameter. I can factorize arrow pi plus 2. Arrow is 8, which is 8 bracket pi plus 2 centimeter. Question 12a says, meanwhile, if you are yet to subscribe, please kindly do so. Like this video, share it to those who need it. Thank you. Question 12a says, in the diagram, P, Q, R, X are points on the circle with center O. Q arrow is parallel to OS and angle QOS. QO arrow is 2M, angle QP arrow is N, and angle SO arrow is 54. Find the values of M and N. Okay. By reason of the fact that angle Q arrow and angle OS are parallel, we know that when we have two parallel lines and a transversal, this angle here is equal to this angle here. The reason is alternate angles. So I know that angle Q arrow O is equal to angle arrow OS, which is 54 degrees. The reason is alternate angles. And so since here is 54 degrees, angle OQR is also 54 degrees. Reason is isosceles triangle, because since these are touching the center, these are radius, so they are equal. Angle OQR is also 54 degrees. Reason is isosceles triangle. So since we have gotten that here is 54 and here is 54, to get M, we know that 2M plus 54 plus 54 equals 180. This is sum of angles in a triangle. 54 plus 54 is 108, so 2M plus 108 equals 180. 2M equals 180 minus 108. 2M equals 72. Divide both sides by 2. M will be 36. M is 36. So how do we look for N? Because Q arrow is a chord that is subtended at the center, and the same Q arrow is also subtended at the circumference, from circle theorem, of course, I have done a detailed explanation on circle theorem. Check my YouTube playlist titled Circle Theorem Series, and you will understand all the theorems. The theorem says the angle at center, the angle which a chord or an arc subtend at the center, is twice the angle which it subtend at the circumference. So this 2M will be twice this. So 2m equals twice n. The reason is angle at center is twice angle at circumference. So that if you divide by 2, m is equal to n, equal to 36. So our n is 36 degrees. B says the length of a rectangle is 4 cm more than the width. If the perimeter is 40 cm, find the area. So let's sketch. If the width is W, the length is 4 more than the width. So when you add 4 to the width, that is the length. So the length will be width plus 4. To get the perimeter, you remember that perimeter of a rectangle is 2 length plus width. Our length is W plus 4 and our width is W plus W. This, and we are giving it as 40. This is 2W plus 4. Can divide by 2, which is 20. 20 equals 2W plus 4. Subtract 4 from both sides. I'll have 20 minus 4 equals 2W, which is 16 equals 2W. Divide by 2, that W is 8 cm. Now, we're looking for the area. Since W is 8 cm, our length will be 12 cm. So, area will be length times width. Length is 8 plus 4, which is 12. So, 12 times 8. 12 times 8 is 96 centimeter. For question 13, we are told that in the diagram, the radius of the sector is 7 cm and angle MON is 60. Find correct to one decimal place the area of the shaded portion. So we can use this sector, area of this sector minus area of this triangle, to get the area of the shaded portion. Now for us to get the area of this triangle, remember that area of a triangle is half base times height. We don't know what the base is, neither do we know what the height is. So let's look for the height. The height is given us. For us to get the height, we'll use trigonometric ratios, which is, since here is 7 cm, of course, here is also 7 cm because it's the radius, and this is the sector. So here is 7 cm too. We use trigonometric ratios, which is opposite over hypotenuse. So sine 60 degrees is opposite over hypotenuse, which is h over 7, so that h will be 7 sine 60, and sine 60 is root 3 over 2, which will be 7 root 3 over 2. The next we'll look for is the base of the triangle, OT. And for us to do that, we'll use trig ratios again, which is cos. Cos 60 is adjacent over hypotenuse. And adjacent is OT, which is what we are looking for. Line OT over hypotenuse is 7. So that line OT is 7 cos 60. Cos 60 is 1 over 2 and times 7, which is 7 over 2. Therefore, area of triangle is half base times height, which is the base now, which we have gotten 7 over 2 times height, which is 7 root 3 over 2. And this will give us 49 root 3 over 8. What about the area of sector? Area of sector is given by theta over 360 times pi r square. Theta is 60 over 360 times 22 over 7. R, radius is 7 times 7 square. 7 can cancel 7. 60 can go here 6 times. 2 can go here 3. 2 can go here 11. So that 11 times 7 is 77. Therefore, area of shaded portion will be area of sector minus area of triangle. Area of sector is 77 over 3 minus area of triangle is 49 root 3 over 8. If we divide this, we will have 25.66. If we do this, we'll have 10.608. So this will be 15.052, and so to one decimal place, this is approximately 15.1 centimeter square. B says the x and y intercept of a straight line are minus 3 over 4 and 2 over 7 respectively. Find the equation of the line. Let's sketch it. This is the y-intercept, which is 2 over 7. And this is the s-intercept, which is minus 3 over 4. Of course, the coordinates y is 0 here, x is 0 here. So the coordinate we have, the coordinate points are minus 3 over 4, 0, and 0, 2 over 7. To find the equation of a line passing through this point, we need to find the gradient. We can find the gradient using this. Gradient m is giving us y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. This is y2. This is 2 over 7 minus 0. X2 is 0 minus, which is 3 over 4. And so this will be 2 over 7 divided by 3 over 4, which is 2 over 7 times 4 over 3. And this is 8 over 21. And from the formula, we have y minus y1 equals m x minus x1. We can use any of these coordinates as our x and y. We'll get the same answer. We'll try both of them. So if we're using this, our y1 is 0. So this will be y minus 0, which is our m is 8 over 21. Our x1 is minus 3 over 4, which is plus. If I multiply through by 21, I'll have 21y. If I open the bracket, I will have 8x. 8 times 8, 4 divided by 8 is 2. 2 times 3 is 6. So this is the first case. If I use this point, or y minus y2 equals m x minus x2. If I use this, we'll get the same answer. Y minus 2 over 7, m is 8 over 21, x minus 0. Multiply through by 21, I will have 21y minus 21 times divided by 7 is 3. 3 times 2 is 6. And this will be 8x. Take this right, 21y equals 8x plus 6. Yes, both of them are the same. Thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like. Make sure you share this to those who will need it. Bye.